Hi, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the AA Word of the Day, and a word for Wednesday, August 7th, 2024 is a design for living. And we have a quote here from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. We in turn sought the same escape with all desperation of drowning men. What seemed at first a flimsy reed has proved to be the loving and powerful hand of God. A new life has been given us, or, if you prefer, a design for living that really works. And this is the commentary from the Daily Reflections. I try each day to raise my heart and hands in thanks to God for showing me a design for living that really works through our beautiful fellowship. But what exactly is this design for living that really works? For me, it is the practice of the 12 steps to the best of my ability, the continued awareness of God who loves me unconditionally, in the hope that, I'm turning the page. Each new day there is a purpose for my being. I am truly, truly blessed in the fellowship. Well, of course, the 12 steps are critical to our advancement, to our becoming sober and useful human beings. And they are 12 steps, and they are numbered steps, and it's good, if you are new at this, to start at the beginning and go to step 12. If you skip, you'll miss the firm foundation, which if you miss a step, you miss the firm foundation. But to surrender to God and a willingness to follow His will for us in our lives is the most foundational piece of AA. And this person who wrote this in the Daily Reflections called it a design for living, and that's just exactly what it is. It's we practice it daily. We examine our faults, our character defects daily. We make a plan to improve them. We meet with our sponsor. We discuss our character defects. We read AA literature. We read sacred scripture. We go to meetings. We discuss with our fellow alcoholics. It is a beautiful program. And when we come in, this writer spoke of a flimsy reed, and sometimes that's all it is. You come and someone shakes your hand, you feel better, but you read all these strange signs that, let go, let God. And they don't seem to make sense, and someone says to you, keep coming, keep your mind open to suggestions. It seems like a flimsy program. I wanted facts. That's what I was trying to discover. How could I do this? How could I beat it? And I wanted it to be a one-off. I didn't want to have to do this for the rest of my days. Once I got that knowledge, I put it in effect, and I'd be all set. You'd never see me again, but you learn that this is a slow process. Just when you stop drinking, you become aware of all of the character defects that you have. That's why they say this is a spiritual problem. It's not an alcohol problem. It's a spiritual problem deep within us. And once we take alcohol out of the equation, we can work on those problems. For me, it was great anger issues that go way, way back, probably to when I was a baby and didn't have the cognitive ability to express it, but it goes that far back. And once I stopped drinking, I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be angry. Because it's written in the big book that justified resentments are pretty deadly. When you know you're right and you're going to lord that over someone, make sure that they know you know, and that's not a way to live. Just what it says, let go, let God. If you can't change their mind, just walk away. You're not required to do that. Take the right road, do the next right thing. So it is in steps up or steps forward, and taking the personal inventory, that was quite a step. Trying to keep it balanced, because as bad as I felt about myself, there were good things about me that would have to go into the balance sheet. And I'm very glad I got deeply into the steps. I've done religious programs with the steps, and paramount among them is admitting to God that we can't do it alone and we need His help. And also admitting to ourselves and to another human being that we can trust the exact nature of our wrongs. And when I was doing the steps, I had heard some people talking about what went on in a meeting, and it really distressed me. So when it came to the point where I had to talk to someone, I had bought, this is even before CDs came out, I bought a 12-tape set by a Jesuit priest. He talked about recovery, and he was a recovering alcoholic. His brother was a recovering alcoholic. And he retired, and he lived on the Isle of Scilly, right off the end of England. And that's where I went. I went there. He invited me into his house. He had a meal, and we talked, and I let everything out. I knew he was elderly. I knew I probably would never see him again. And that's how I did it. And I'll tell you, I felt so good when I left. I felt like I had known him for many, many years, although all I had ever heard was his tape set. And I'm glad I did it that way. Some people think, well, no, he really didn't go over there. Yes, I did. I did go over there. Flew into London, took a train out, and then took a ferry out to the island. And I was absolutely sure of his not speaking anything about it. And I'm glad. So, there's many things to ponder in this. Each of the 12 steps is so important, so very important. And if you're new and you have a sponsor, talk to the sponsor about how you're going to approach steps, work the steps. Many meetings are just step meetings. You get the little step book, and each week you do a different step and you'll have a discussion. And if you go with your sponsor, you can have a meeting after the meeting, have a coffee, and talk about things, how you see it, and more importantly, how he sees it. He has the experience. And I'm saying he because usually men have men for sponsors. I had a temporary sponsor once who was a woman. And she was very good. But it was just a temporary relationship of limited time. My sponsor had died, and I really wanted someone to talk to, and she filled the spot. I had known her for many years, so I wasn't 13 stepping or anything like that. So I wish you all a very good day. Get out and enjoy the waning days of the summer. School's going to start here pretty soon because all the stores have, school sales, pens, pencils, markers, the composition book. Who remembers these? I'll tell you, when I was a kid, we had to memorize the multiplication times table in the back of that from 1 to 12. And that all-important diagonal line of perfect squares. But that's not AA. So, have a good day.